Hello, everyone. I'm Chongqing. I'm going to talk about the biggest institution in the world and the most influential one, the internet, in my presentation. I won't celebrate the country as an idol, how fandom culture shaped Chinese cyberfeminists. And I believe the combination of China, internet, and feminists will be really exciting. So let's move on. Before diving into the major incident in 2020, I'd like to give you some background information about Chinese cyberfeminists at this stage. There, I summarized two major obstacles and two strategies utilized and faced by Chinese cyberfeminists. The first one is facing heavy criticism from other netizens, and there are two major resources for such criticism. The first one is, of course, from the opponents in the general discourse of patriarchy. As you know, and maybe introduced before earlier in another speaker's presentation, the Confucian traditions and the culture and the social conditions in contemporary China is still heavily influenced by the patriarchal system, and hence such criticism on feminist pursuits and Chinese feminists is still heavy. And the second one can be from the national sphere, because some feminist pursuits are really against institutional agendas. For example, the three-child policy, the mandatory 1 month divorce cooling off period, and a half-year maternity leave. These three policies were all passed in 2021 in mainland China. And these policies are meant to encourage more women to go back to their families, give birth to more children, and really hampered those women from being in their professional careers. And the second major obstacle is the strict censorship on social media platforms. The major battlefield has always been social media platforms and in China. The Weibo, as at the Twitter, the Chinese version of Twitter, Douban, and maybe other platforms such as WeChat. Since the strict censorship was due to the code of positive energy, which was to encourage more display and illustration of positive contents in terms of propaganda of the Chinese government and the mainstream policies of the CCP. And there's a monumental incident in 2018, that is the hashtag of #MeToo, which was transported from United States to China at the end of 2017 and early 2018, was banned on Weibo. The whole hashtag, which has been viewed, commented, posted, and reposted for over 1 million times, was officially banned and removed from Weibo. And multiple KOLs accounts were silenced and deleted. In this case, there are two major strategies for Chinese cyberfeminists. The first one is to occupy cyberspace with feminist discussions. This is not like simply posting and propagandizing feminist agendas on Chinese internet, but their online activism has always been evolving through time to time from one incident to another. And especially the one I'm going to talk about later has really demonstrated they're maybe the newest and the most influential strategy at this point. And the second one is to deconstructing the patriarchal agenda of building good women. The most practical and significant agenda for Chinese feminists at this point is to delete or to deconstruct the agenda of good women, which was confirmed by the patriarchal system. Although the liberation of women was written in Chinese Communist Party's code and doctrines from really early times in 1930s, but social and cultural sphere has always been really critical. And these are some examples of the strict censorship. The black one is from WeChat instant communication application, and the one at the bottom is from Douban, and this one is from Weibo. And you say this account is called the Voice of Feminists. And when it was removed and banned, it already had 18,000 followers, but it was still silenced. In 2019 and 20, two major incidents marked fandom culture's impact on online activism. In the middle of 2019, the incident of anti-extradition law amendment bill movement in Hong Kong and its following response from Chinese netizens in mainland China made great impacts and demonstrated how Chinese netizens' passion for patriotism and fandom nationalism. This movement was not really new. As you see these two screenshots, because like most posts are still going on in Instagram, Twitter, and maybe Weibo, and these are some examples. You can see the first one is called 中央粉丝后援会. That's a fandom-based fandom organization for the CCP or the Central Power, and it's totally organized by Chinese netizens voluntarily. And in the comment section, this is a certain style which will really mark the fandom nationalism in 2019 and still at this point is the combination of compliments for China, its big scale of grants and how much achievement China has achieved, and some general quotes like 八荣八耻, the 8 goods and 8 misconducts by Xi Jinping and popular among Chinese people. In this is really not a new invention because in 2016, the 第八 expedition made huge impacts in both online and offline world of China. In the book, From Cyber Nationalism to Fandom Nationalism, the case of 第八 expedition in China, edited by Hailong Liu, Professor Guobin Yang's chapter introduced the major methodology of posting memes or 表情包 in Chinese under Tsai Ing-wen's Facebook account when the Taiwan issues turned into political turmoil online. In this 2019 version of online activism and this incident, the emphasis of Central Power in China and CCP grew more explicit and emphasized. And as you can see, there is an idolization, humanization, and a celebration of a female figure as a national representative. And the name of motherland has already been changed to the Azhong Gege, or like the Chinese brother. And in 2020, the CCP officially launched two virtual idols who are national representatives, Jiang Shanjiao and Hong Qiman. The female one is Jiang Shanjiao and the male one is Hong Qiman. In the debuting video, Jiang Shanjiao was introduced as the elder sister and equipped with slim body parts, sweet voices, and adorable personalities. CCP and designers were expecting massive celebration from fandoms, but they only accepted really heavy criticism, especially from Chinese cyber feminists. And this Weibo post was already removed, but by the time it was removed, it has already been reposted and commented more than 30,000 times. And in this comment section, people are posting about realistic obstacles for Chinese women and posting questions like, Jiang Shanjiao, are you called a slut because you're so close with Hong Qiman? Or Jiang Shanjiao, are you going to give birth to a child? And Jiang Shanjiao, can you be as good as the boys when you enter high school? And these are realistic concerns for Chinese women, but it was reconciled and ignored or avoided in the official propaganda. For my conclusion is that after this incident in 2020, Chinese cyber feminists developed their awareness of anti-patriarchal narrative that is based in the national propaganda, which means that the feminist voice is always avoided in the official narrative, and the Chinese cyber feminists realized their obstacle was not only from their opponents, but from the institutional sphere. Another thing is that the fandom culture contributed to the strategy of propagandizing feminist agenda on Chinese internet. It's the way they spread their messages and propaganda their agendas, not only by posting their realistic incidents, but by questioning the system and posting questions massively. And that's it. Thank you.